inclination would be, especially since this would be a total change of practice for how this board operates, would be to, if we're going to change, would be to take it slow and to begin with, to mirror how we do our meetings on Monday nights. So my interpretation of allowing public comment at committee meetings would be to have that agenda item up at the top. That at the beginning of the meeting, if there's anyone who wanted to make a public comment, and it is a comment, it's not a question and answer session, to make the comment at the beginning of the meeting, and then the meeting proceeds. And to your point, you know, and especially for these Monday night meetings, if people have a question or a concern, and they get it to us ahead of time, we can answer it at the public meeting. You know, we can't do it if they ask us, you know, first notice at the public meeting. Same thing for public comment at committee meetings. I think it's a much more effective use of people's time to get the question to us ahead of time, to email us, to share their thoughts ahead of time. The agenda's up on Friday, you know, get your thoughts and concerns out to the board via email. Because then we have time to digest them before the meeting, and we can bring them as concerns or points to the meeting.
I think the sheer fact that we're talking about this is like life-changing for this district, truthfully. So I would agree that by posting on a Friday, you might eliminate that, and you will get maybe some questions over the weekend. When I say bring it on, I'm not saying, no, but I'm also not saying question and answer. I don't know that we have the time, you know, to do that. And I don't think it's appropriate because you open yourself up to some you know, sketchy areas. But public comment before discussion, I think, might even enliven our discussion in that meeting. You know, to the point of like an ad hoc committee where we bring community members in to think outside our box. So I was not certainly suggesting we do Q&A. And I certainly think by posting on a Friday, we might open ourselves up to more communication with the community. But I think George's point is valid that you have a set time, and unfortunately, if we're going to go over that, we need to make that very clear in how we state things, that we will need to cut off to go to business, and we will seek you out later, perhaps if they sign out with their question or something like that.
Yeah, and Laura, to answer your question, again, it's her statement might get answered during the committee meeting. And I will tell you personally, after these committee meetings, like, you know, I'm just, you know, I'd rather just hear it in the beginning, the statements. It might be something positive, it might be a concern, it might be a question that will get answered during our meeting, and then if it doesn't, you know, hopefully we get back to them with the appropriate answer they're looking for. I know I don't want to make any, if I know it, you know, I'll say it. I'll say, yeah, this is what I know, but some of the stuff that we go over, I mean, the numbers, we got to give them the right answer. So mine was the first part of it, hey, public comment, and then we'll go from there.
I keep stealing the microphone from Ryan. Can I just ask that then when we put our committee minutes, or I'm sorry, our committee agendas on the website, that there is a direct link to the chairperson of the committee? Do you know what I mean? That it's easy, that they can just hit on it and then they can email us directly, and it's right there with the agenda.
I forget what I was going to say.
All right, I think we're all in agreement. We all want this to be more open. We all want more community interaction and feedback. And doing as a committee chair, it's awkward when you know somebody wants to talk. And we're like, can they talk? Can they not talk? And I let them talk, and maybe that's wrong. But so I don't see, why don't we just do it for the rest of the year and then evaluate it at the end of the year? Did it work? Did it not work? Was it disruptive? Did we get a lot of good feedback from it? And take it from there. I don't think we have anything to lose.
Okay, well, great minds think alike, because that's kind of yeah, so I'll just tag along that. I think that's a great idea. Go for the rest of the year, because the last thing I want to do is upset the community by, okay, it's public comment, you make your comment, we don't have a response for you, and then they leave and say, well, why did they open it to public comment when it doesn't really matter what I say anyway, because that's not what we want to have accomplished here. I think by doing it phasing this thing in, so to speak, and see how it goes the rest of the year. Hopefully we'll open lines of communication to your point of, hey, it's I have public comment, now we're gonna post the agenda, let's go on our website, email chairperson of this committee member, and then come in, and those on the committee will see that question and maybe be ready to answer it. So I just hope, to everyone's point, I think it's a great move moving forward, and I just hope that the test phase does what we want it to do, because we don't wanna go backwards, and I think we wanna go forward with this, so.
So just to, did you wanna?
Yeah, kind of. I like that idea, Maria, giving it a test run and then talking about it later to see how it worked. My only concern is, as someone who has made public comment at board meetings before being a board member, there is a feeling that you make the comment and you get, no offense, but you get a thank you, and that's it. And then you don't know, like, did they hear what I had to say? Did they talk about it? Like, what was the outcome of it? And I think while emailing the chairperson of that committee is a good idea, if there's a way for the rest of the board to be made aware of what those questions were as well, just for full transparency, because if I'm not at that committee meeting, I don't know what the comment was or what the discussion was. So if somehow that can be put in the minutes or something, or the board report, just so we're all aware of what's happening.
Okay, so this is what I heard during our discussion. I heard that we want to put public comment at committee meetings at the top of the committee agendas. That will probably limit the time to 10 minutes at the top of the meeting. We'll follow the rules for the Monday night public comment meeting, which means 3 minutes per speaker. I do think that we should, I don't know how we'll do this since we don't do it for this meeting, but I do think if we put this out there to the committee, to the community, that when we do start doing this, that we make it clear that the request to speak should be given in advance of the committee. I think it would be helpful.
Or the whole board?
The committee meetings, I think we can trial run this September, October, and November, then we can discuss it at board reorg in December. That'll give us 3 months of feedback to decide if we're gonna just continue on with that practice for the rest of the school year, because there's no committee meetings in December. Yeah, and I like Lori's idea of putting the chairperson's email up there at the top of the agenda so that people can click on it to send an email or to let us know that they want to speak at the committee meetings. And I think that emails can be read at the committee meetings. I mean, if a committee member sends an email to the committee, it should be read at the committee meeting, and then therefore it'll be in the notes, the minutes. So, is that an appropriate summary of our discussion and how we're going to move forward?
Just to clarify in my head, because that does sound great, if resident A emails a chairperson on a Friday evening after reading the agenda, should that chairperson, is that chairperson then going to just let us know that, hey, I got this over the weekend, it's gonna be discussed? Or are we hearing that upon arrival at the meeting as a board member? That's one concern. And the second one now is completely escaping me, and it'll come back to me in a moment. I'm gonna turn off because I didn't write it down.
I got a couple things. I also think that, let's say we have this 10-minute allotment, I also think that, the chairperson, there might be some good stuff going on, that I think it should be the discretion of the chairperson if they want to accept some more time, that's all.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Clearly. Oh, yes, I mean, I don't wanna,
I don't wanna say.
timing them down to like a
Yeah.
hard 10 minutes.
And then the other issue is, though, I honestly believe if someone wants to show up and talk, I'm cool with it. I don't really need the email. That's just, with our committee, someone might just want to pop in on that Monday morning, their schedule freed up. And I have no issue with it, really.
That's fine, I think we should encourage people.
We get the email, we should share it. We should print it out. But if someone just pops in and it's great, it's good.
So that was it. If somebody just doesn't email the chair, are we then going to say, I'm sorry, we didn't hear from you? As long as that's put out there, it's suggested but not required to participate in committee meetings. That was it.
I think the email really is just for people who can't attend the meeting, or if they have a question in advance. But I just want to say, it kind of comes full circle from the complaints that we've had as to the times of our meetings, because this way, more people will feel as though they're part of the meeting, even if they can't be there or they're at work, that their issue will be addressed.
So I think, all right, so I think that if we encourage people to, reach out to us ahead of time, they want to make a public comment, that aligns with our policy for Monday night board meetings, and public comment, we can encourage them, it's not a requirement. So, are we all in agreement? Okay. Okay, so now, updates from organizations. Wyomissing Area Education Association. AFSCME. WAVE. PTA. Okay, if there's no further business, may I please have a motion to adjourn? All those in